Fleetwood Mac's music was made famous by the intra-band fighting that existed alongside it, but this one scuffle was the one that broke the band up completely. Considering the tumultuous history of the band, fans should feel lucky that we got as many albums out of the band as we actually did. Although the band created magic whenever they worked off each other in the studio, it was only matched by the soap opera that was going on whenever the tape stopped rolling. While the music typically came before everything else, it was only a matter of time before things got physical. Before ever joining Fleetwood Mac, Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks were a musical duo themselves, trying to snag a major label record deal. After putting out one album independently, Mick Fleetwood eventually recruited Lindsey Buckingham as the band's future frontman, but he said he would only join if Stevie Nicks could come along with him. And while it looked like everything would be perfect once the band started to gain attention for songs like Rhiannon, things began to fall apart very quickly, especially during the making of Rumours. As Buckingham and Nicks fell out emotionally, Christine and John McVie were also going through a divorce, leading to each songwriter writing tracks informed by their shattered love lives. Although the band went to the absolute depths of hell to create it, Rumours became one of the biggest albums of all time. But the problem was, the success of it only amplified the simmering tensions that existed beneath the band. Especially given the fact that Rumours turned them into global superstars, and then there was a musical expectation to follow it up with something equally as groundbreaking. The artistic responsibility weighed so heavily on the band, and as well as the personal relationships continuing to fray even after Rumours, it meant that every creative decision was emotionally charged and had some sort of personal impact. For Buckingham in particular, that next step became an opportunity to assert greater control over the band's direction. Rather than repeating the formula that made them famous, he pushed for a more experimental approach, which inevitably clashed with the expectations of both the group and their audience. It set the stage for a period where artistic ambition and personal conflict became almost impossible to separate. With Buckingham taking over the studio for the album Tusk, every member started to get forced to the sidelines. Not wanting to keep her voice stifled, Nicks would eventually move on to a solo career, having hits like The Edge of 17, while returning to the band off and on for albums like Tango in the Night. And so by the 1980s, the band had developed this sort of elastic formation where members like Stevie Nicks were both in and out of the band. But towards the end of that decade, the very last straw came when Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham engaged in a physical fight that broke up the band. After discussing the release of singles like Big Love from their latest album, the plans for touring exploded into violence when the group congregated at Christine's house, the calm mother figure of the group who in this instance still couldn't protect them from fighting. After being unable to settle their differences, Nicks started to attack Buckingham, which caused him to explode into anger. Chasing Nicks through the house, Buckingham eventually slammed her against the side of his car, which made Nicks scared for her well-being. As Nicks recalled to Louder magazine, he threw me against the car and I screamed horrible obscenities at him. I thought he was going to kill me, and I think he thought he was probably going to kill me too. And I said, if the rest of the people in the band don't get you, my family will. My dad and my brother will kill you. The founder of the band, Mick Fleetwood, desperately tried to keep them together, but of course after that fight, Lindsey Buckingham left and didn't return until the end of the 1990s for their live comeback album, The Dance. And so although the band, who became famous for turning their emotional struggles into art, would never be the same after that hostility finally turned into violence. If you want more of the best stories from the world of pop culture, don't forget to like and subscribe to Far Out magazine.